Catus, Maximus here, this time with a review of the ThruNite BSS V4. This is a 2500 Lumen, a pretty bright 18650 flashlight. They sent me this for free as a promo product. I've been, when these I get these offers, I tell them I want something decent. So this is a $60 light. Really, it ends up getting just way too hot. It gets burning hot within a minute of use. And then it automatically starts toning itself down. It has this logo of a Native American on it, which I believe is cultural appropriation. I don't know what the supposed meaning of that is, but probably shouldn't have that on their flashlight. It's kind of an odd thing where it has a kind of a weird double switch system. We can see that it has this odd little collar in there, and that adds, what that's doing is that's making an extra contact in there. It comes with a 3100 milliamp hour battery. There's been some comments about the reliability of the battery. It has this excessive self-defense ring. I mean, that is a defense ring, but I believe that's aluminum. And if you drop it, then those things are going to really get bent. As you can see, let me pull off this ring. Feels like it's aluminum. It's not heavy enough to be steel. It is a glass-coated lens in there, so that's at least something decent. Decent packaging. You get a manual, warning to make sure it's screwed down tight, silica gel. That is something. At least they include a spare glass lens. What is that? Your voice matters. 2-year warranty. We got our lanyard. I do use the lanyards. Pop that. Oh. And it comes with a spare charging port cover. I think I just dropped some. Okay, so it comes with a fair collection of spare parts. Spare main O-rings, spare button. It has a couple spare charging port covers and a spare lens. So they're giving you a decent pack of spare parts. USB charging cable. And so for 60 bucks, I'm going to compare it to the other free flashlights I've taken. Like this Sofran SP33, 43 on Amazon, or like 32 for this on AliExpress. And then the 1200 Lumen 18650 Sofran. This thing for 60 bucks, it's kind of interesting because this isn't a lockout switch. We're like on the Sofran, the cheap one, it really does lock it out when you hit the tail switch. So you don't have to do weird things with the button. This one is kind of weird just because they have a unique double collar system. We have a 3100 milliamp hour battery, but there's been some complaints about it. WowTac, so maybe that's the company that really makes this. But this collar that's spring-loaded is actually a third terminal in the back. Kind of interesting. That's one of the first I've seen like that. This thing being 2500 lumens, I mean, it is bright, but this front button always works, and the tail switch is just a manual. I mean, that thing has a lot of intensity for a little light, but when you can only use it for a minute, exactly how useful are these ultra bright lights? Unfortunately, at those lumens, when you start getting to 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 lumens, you just need more mass. Plus, this defense ring should have been stainless steel. Sofran can do stainless steel here. They can do it here. This has a really weird way to lock it out. You got to press and hold until it goes into its moonlight mode. Press and hold again, and then it just turns off, and now nothing works. And that doesn't make sense. Should be able to lock out the easy to press button and still be able to use the much more difficult to press tail switch. So a little confusing. You got to press and hold to reactivate it. Of course, the other thing is what's going on here. That is, well, we can look at the cord. But in here, I wish I had a flashlight. Oh, look. I do. Micro USB. A little bit disappointing at $60. Even this cheaper Sofran here. If I can get this open. If we can. There you go. USB-C. The reason USB-C really is a much better plug isn't because of all the special functions. It's just because it's been designed to be much heavier duty than the micro USB. I know why manufacturers still choose to use it, because this flashlight's probably sold in 100 different countries, and that's still the most common plug, but they should have went with USB-C. It does take several hours for it to recharge this little battery through there, so could have improved that a little bit too. Also not particularly awesome because you got to press and hold and it just goes low, medium, high, Back to low again. The moonlight mode is only when you press and hold. And I believe it's a double press for turbo, triple press for the strobe. Only a single rate strobe, which is also disappointing. Both of these Soferns. Oh, this has an easy lockout. 1, 2, 3, 4. You just do that, boom. Oh, come on. The Sofern here, you can see dual rate strobe, which is a pretty big deal. They could have included that for $60. Anyway, I'm going to go out. I'm actually not going to compare it to the usual. This Quantum is awesome from Harbor Freight. It's probably one of the best deals for 20 bucks. Just someplace local, 3D sales. But, I mean, the brightness of that versus, like, this light, it's just, you can see how the camera adjusts. It's just crazy. Anyway, I'll finish my little unboxing. Yeah, you know, standard grade case. And, oh, there's our little clip. It doesn't come installed. That's kind of interesting. I guess I'll install that now. Oh, that seems pretty robust. Halfway decent. Alright, I'm going to go outside and do my little light comparison between the 1200 lumen Sofern and the 3500 lumen Sofern versus this 2500 lumen ThruNite. Alright, here it is. Here's the low setting. And there's turbo. It's really not too bad. So here we are. Here's the 1200 lumen Sofern. And then here's this one. Here's the ThruNite. It is pretty bright. It heats up so fast. It's unbelievable. And here, that's the 1200. Now here's the 4300 or the 3500 lumen Sofern. And it's only $43. So here's the $60 2500. There's the 3500. That's just a Sofern by itself. You can see just, I mean, it's completely lighting up this whole field. And here's the ThruNite. The ThruNite isn't bad, but you can see it doesn't have as much flash or as much spillover. And man, I mean, it's 100 degrees and just the amount I've done on the few pulses I've done on this video. So that's the big problem. The Sofern with the 26650 gives you a brighter, more output, a lot more battery, and just a whole bunch more spill. You can see how much wider that is. So anyway, that's kind of the deal. I don't think it's the greatest value. ThruNite's a little pricey. Sorry for the funky demonstration there. I mean, the bottom line to sum this up is I appreciate ThruNite sending me this $60 promotional flashlight to make a video on. Unfortunately, for its price, competition like this Sofern 1200 lumen $35 light, and particularly the SP33 V3 shames it. This is 43, this is 60. This is just a compact, you know, they kind of call it defense, but it doesn't have the dual rate tactical strobe. This is aluminum and it should have been stainless steel. Sofern can do it with stainless steel. ThruNite can do it with stainless steel. And the micro USB is just outdated. If you're going to be replacing the cell and using this battery or using this light for especially heavily, you really risk damaging that micro USB. They really should have had USB-C, which of course the Sofern does. This uses a 26650, so the Sofern has, you know, a 5.5 amp cell versus a 3.1 amp. Sometimes people talk about milliamps. Milliamps is 1/1000th of an amp. So when I say 3.1 amps, that's a 3100 milliamp versus 55. And something like this, the more mass means more cooling. This thing is neat. Too bad it drops down to 600 lumens after like a minute or two. The self-thermal throttles so it doesn't burn out the LED or the battery. But that's 25% of its turbo mode is what it's rated for continuously. So something like this Sofern will be much brighter under its continuous mode. But such a short time span, that's all this really is just, you know, impress your friends. It does have an interesting lockout, but that's all it's really for. You know, look how super bright this little light is. Too bad it burns you after a minute, literally. And that about sums it up. Is unfortunately the ThruNite flashlights, at least the BSS V4 for 60 bucks, unfortunately just doesn't stack up. Although it is super bright for a minute. It doesn't have that great a real world kind of applications. Anyway, really appreciate everybody who's been watching and subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Till next time, Catus Maximus out.